And on we go into the land of Dawn, where Blacklist International had quite a splendid draft, while RSGMY, well, I'm not a big fan of their current drafting, but there must be some kind of a reason that they decided to pick up on a Beatrix on top of whatever the Blacklist International have decided to pick for themselves. They have put themselves in quite a pedestal in the early game, and that is going to be definitely going to be one thing the Blacklist International is going to sell it, right? They're going to whip up the early game like no tomorrow. RSGMI would then have their back against the wall, and when it comes to talking about their comeback mechanics, they don't exactly have that big of a comeback mechanics.
Yeah, that I just feel bad for Lolios, right? Because Eason is now just gonna babysit after the tariff. He's gonna face so much pressure in the bottom lane, and if the Krupa's gonna have to constantly babysit this Beatrix, which
that is a Beatrix dead by the Diggy. Look, I understand how painful a Diggy can be. I understand how harassing the Diggy can be. But the way that they have decided to pick up a Beatrix onto the final decision that Blacklist International has, RGMY, they have many choices out there. There is a lot of other picks that they can go for, something a little bit more tanky into the mid stages of the game, something that works a little bit better for them in the mid stages of the game, but getting another marksman on top of their Lexia, which is onto the Lancelot, is not exactly something that I was expecting to see.
yeah, well, the small victory that RSG MY can take in the early game is that Kaiser is having a good time on this Paquito against the Benedetta. It's rarely that we see that happen, but now RSG MY can try to look to build on that. Meanwhile, Izanami not hitting the level 4 yet. This is a dev time. He does pop up the Order of the Brilliance in a quite appropriate timing. Now, Wise coming in. Granger going to try to go for the steal. Kaiser can pick up a kill here. A little bit of overcommitment coming from Blacklist International and RSGMY. They are standing toe-to-toe with the Philippines champions. They are not going to go down without a fight.
Unfortunately for Wise, he kind of mispositioned himself with his dash, trying to get himself out of the grasp of Zakas. So, if I had to say, Zakas definitely did. Ouch! Ouch! Man, oh my Venus!
Well, that felt painful because the Popo and Koopa did so much damage, and that felt also painful because that could have been a kill if he just stayed there for another second.
Well, what can I say? Once again, I gotta have to watch out a little bit more on the RSGMY, right? Because they're actually doing a decent job despite the fact that I don't like their draft. But Lexia gets himself a single kill onto the side of Oh My Venus. This is going to help propel them a little bit further into the mid stages of the game, as they managed to take and steal away the purple buff from Blacklist International's jungle. And moving on to the bottom side, Lolios suppresses and getting himself a single kill onto the side of the bottom, brings Ohab down, and that is going to be very good news after bringing down the Harif. But unfortunately, reverse time is just going to be connecting onto the side of Zakas, trying to get himself backing off with the Tyrant's Revenge, but unfortunately, that distance is not going to be a far travel. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. RSGMY still have gotten themselves with 500 gold lead, but it won't be that much of a lead for long. As we know how Blacklist International play, they are definitely going to be forcing out a little bit more fight as the turtle is about to spawn, and they will want to gain control of it.
Yeah, Blacklist International now starting to bite back a little bit, but RSGMY still in a slight lead. Meanwhile, Kaiser getting down to the bottom side. Don't think Blacklist International will walk away with any kills, but here comes Wise. You know, spot Zeka is coming in. The Tyrant's Rage. Oh, perfectly timed. Time's journey coming in from Ohab, or rather Eason, to save his team from getting stuck there against the wall. Kaiser gets dragged back. That is an instant burst on the Paquito, and now they want to contest the turtle. I think it's been secured by Lexia, but he's going to run away as the rest of his teammates. They're just going to get decimated, and look at the Edward now sticking on top of Izanabi. Popo and Koopa is going to come in. They're going to use the reverse time, but they don't have enough damage just yet.
And now, just because of that fight, they managed to get themselves a nice turtle as well as bringing down more of the RSGMY's lineup. But unfortunately for Blacklist International, they are not anywhere close to, tallying up the scoreline. They have to be a little bit more aggressive, despite the fact that we are already looking at them kind of dominating most of the bottom lane. For the top lane, it is still going to the side of RSGMY, as Lexia, he still managed to get himself a good amount of kill, Lolials as well. So the top lane is pretty much dominated. They can kind of just keep the top lane the way as it is, and just 4-4, getting themselves 500 gold lead is great.
Yeah, see? It's not that hard, isn't it? Just ban the Elders and the Matilda. Well, we'll have to see if that is effective after all. RSGMY is still doing a very good job in the mid game, and that's where they need to capitalize on this speed. Now Lexia diving onto Wise, the Phantom Execution will not meet his mark. They might just bite back. Benedetta coming in with the final act, the final blow will get the kill, and now they're jumping in. Zekers one more hit, but will burn the flicker to just get himself out of trouble. Blacklist International styling on the Benedetta, but they lose to tier 1 in the mid lane. RGMY, you can sense a bit of faith in the Malaysian fans, and now Kaiser coming in once again, the bait, and wow, he did manage to flicker that out of time. That is good micromanagement coming in from the potato play.
That is very important on the side of RGMY. The very fact that they are trying to shaft the wave down to the bottom lane, and despite Blacklist International such a big commitment in trying to get a kill down on the Paquito, not doing so, it is a big win. It gotta have to be a big win for RSGMY. But one thing that kind of aches me is the fact that they did not try to establish dominance over the side of the Turtles Pit. They can eventually do that, but it would take quite some time before they manages to do that, as now we have Zakas jumps right onto absolutely no one, constantly being just bursted down by Oheb. There wasn't even a need for him to drop down the Zaman Force. And just like that, RGMY with the Kufra jumping in alone, they pretty much lost this fight. As the time journey is popped right now and connects quite a lot of damage down on the side of Kaiser. They take down the turtle, and that is turtle soup for days.
Yeah, Izanami having to force the flicker a bit too early in my opinion, but nevertheless, RGMY, they do put a little bit of pressure. The Banat's Rage is going to come out in hopes to quickly clear out that wave, and you can see Blacklist International, they really want this first tower in the bottom lane, but that Beatrix is in just to make sure that Blacklist International do not push in too hard. Meanwhile, Zakker's charging up on Tyrant's Revenge. Does he go in? No, he's not going to find anyone, and he's just going to babysit this Lilios onto the bottom side. Blacklist International losing a bit of momentum from the early game grabs that they had.
The bottom lane is going to be shoved up. A really nice stun right on top of Oheb, but unfortunately the Zaman Force is just going to be connecting right onto the ground and just summons it all down. Bennett's Rage pushes all of the members from Blacklist International away. They did manage to do a really good disengaging move from the side of RGMY, while Whites was slowly making their way over. Well executed, RGMY. If not, that would have been a very devastating move from the side of Blacklist International. In the meantime, we're also going to be looking right here in the middle lane. The Retribution lands and connects onto Edward. Try to slow him down just a little bit. Reverse time, popped off. Right is an army, but unfortunately the power of the Order Brilliance gets himself right out of the way, while Zakers comes in between, intercepts. He takes all of the shots to ensure that he's the one that goes down instead of Izanami. A worthy sacrifice indeed. Bennett's Rage reigns right on top of all of the creeps to ensure that, well, the middle lane first turret is still alive.
Yeah, I like this. I can't exactly say I like, but you know, the Beatrix pick is very good in terms of containing Blacklist International from split push, right? But you can see they still don't have a lockdown. They still don't have an answer onto Edward. You have the Kufa, but Kufa is constantly having to be involved in rotating with the team. So that kind of leaves Benedetta a lot of license to free roam. We see Benedetta now coming back into a bit of a momentum. Zakers once again the target. Does he burn the flicker kill? No, he doesn't even have it. It's on cooldown. And that is going to be 24 seconds without the Krufra.
9 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. 9-6 in favor for Blacklist International in terms of kills. And they have also caught up in the net worth. RSGMY, this is a time where they would definitely want to go online, especially since Lolials have 7,100 gold for itself. It's quite a net worth that they have done. But the damage dealt throughout the board, Blacklist International is still pretty darn painful. Look at that. Eson, 23,000 damage. It's on top of OHEB. With, well, it is still the early stages of the game. It is still early/mid stages of the game. Any team fight from now on is going to help accentuate every single one of these damages that Blacklist International can bring up, and so is RGMY's lineup. With 2 bombs right in front of the turret, Izanami takes it all.
Yeah, I think it's really smart for Blacklist International. They're always looking to burn away all of the brilliance, and with every second that Izanami doesn't have that ultimate, it's going to be super hard for RGMY to commit to a fight. Because look at that, instantly bound to the ground with the Death Sonata landing its mark, and now Wise looking to invade into the red jungle. He does have the support of the Harif as well as Diggy. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Benedetta split, pushing. Look at that, RGMY force a split into half without Izanami to back up. Kaiser's getting dragged back to the middle turret as well, but they will secure the second tier turret on the top lane. Meanwhile, Popo and Koopa constantly being chased, and I don't think that Lolios wants to chase too far in case she gets sandwiched in between the Benedetta as well as the Popo himself.
And as it is right now, RGMY, they surprisingly still have the control of their own buff corners. Lexia doesn't have his own buff despite all of that. Actually, where did the buff go to? Because I thought I saw a purple buff for RGMY. Well, doesn't seem like things are working too well for RGMY though, because it does seem like we do have OHEB and Wise that is the one that took the purple buff away from RGMY, and down Lolils go.
Now Benedetta going onto the top lane. She's going to try to push the Paquito out of position, slowing time for the rest to come. And can they get the reverse time? No, they don't. And Blacklist International, they make a false rotation on the top side. Do they start the Lord here? They have a lot of control in the middle. But RSGMY, they're like, no, we're not going to contest for the Lord. We want to secure your middle turret. And when it comes to the rescue of the tier 2, onto the top side, Paquito getting sandwiched here. Oh, look at the burst damage, 660, but more importantly, they get the kill. It is going to be Wise that picks it up, and they're going to start the Lord immediately. This is a 5v4. If RSGMY wants to contest this, they might just lose the game if all of their members fall. Lexia forced to use the Taunt Rose to get them trouble from the Popo and Koopa. That is going to be an easy Lord and enlightened Lord as well.
It's a 12 minutes game, of course. The enhanced Lord is definitely going to be trampling either into the top or the bottom lane. I think it's going to be in the top lane. So the rest of the members from Blacklist International, all they got to do is just take this chance to bring down the middle lane first tier turret, because if they don't move away from the first tier turret, man, will that Lord just crash onto the inhibitor turret. Blacklist International, they're still holding on to the middle. They would want to probably force something out and make RGMY completely just ignore the Lord. As they picked up the fight, the kill of the power of the Auto Brilliance is just going to be popped by Izanami. So one of the escape options coming from the side of Lunox is definitely not going to be in play here. Well, we do have the Zaman Force popped right out. Kaiser, Lexia's the one that actually still went down, as Edward just going to go straight on with the Electro final blow. Almost brings down Lolils throughout all of it all. The bottom lane inhibitor turret is going to be under siege as well, but Banner's Rage from Lolils deals one heck of amount of damage onto the Lord as well as the rest of the creeps. And OHEB all alone, nothing much he can do. Even Eson popping up at the time journey would not get him alive. And throughout all of that chaos down bottom, we do have more of the players coming from Blacklist International that eventually managed to bring down the inhibitor in the middle lane and easily brought down the core, as everything went on like a routine. It's like a routine for the Blacklist International.